Hello everybody, it's me again, and today we're going to do another DIY project. Hurricane Irma is steaming towards Florida. We live in St. Pete. Right now it looks like it's going up the East Coast, but even so, we should experience 40-45 knot winds here and a lot of rain. Our experience here in St. Pete is that that'll cause power outages. Probably the most important thing to have when you're without power is your cell phone and internet connection. Unfortunately, cell phones will only last maybe 12 hours heavy-duty hotspot work, and the power outage may be 24 hours or more. So the dilemma is, how do you keep your cell phones charged, your hotspots active, and perhaps even plug in your laptop while you don't have any other power? Today we're going to build a marine battery based charger station for USB ports and for a normal automotive style plug-in. If you have a 12-volt charger for your laptop or your iPad or whatever, then you can also plug that in. This is a fairly expensive project, maybe $100 to $150, but with the proper setup, it should last 10 years for the battery and the rest of it indefinitely. So it's a 10-year investment, a good investment, because you can stay online through your cell phone while all other electrical capability is gone. So here we go. We're going to start with a inventory of the tools and parts and pieces that you're going to need for this project. First of all, the battery. I got mine at Walmart. It's a marine battery, and you can see that a marine battery has these screw-on studs, and they also are a deep cycle, so you can discharge them extensively without harming the battery, unlike a start battery for a car. And then also at Walmart I got this marine battery case, and it was relatively inexpensive, maybe 10 bucks. And marine batteries are expensive by nature. Now this is a 135 amp hour battery. A typical cell phone battery is maybe 2 amp hours. So if it lasts 12 hours on 2 amp hours, you can see that this will probably last you a month of use. So that's a pretty good foundation for keeping your internet going. Next most important thing that we have is a outlet for both the normal car kind of plug and USB. I went to West Marine to get this. They have several different options for this device. I like the Luci systems, although they are the premium system. This one is below deck panel. That means you don't keep it out in the rain. It has to be inside. It has an on-off switch, one port for a connection, and 2 ports for the USB. These are very high quality Luci systems. Next we have to attach it to the battery terminal and to the Luci system, so we need a couple of end pieces. I use the again the Marine brand from West Marine. These are Anchor brand, and 12-10 AWG wire will go in one side, and for the posts, maybe you can see it better over here, that's an 8mm post. And that'll go over the marine post. So that's to connect to the battery itself. And then the back of the Luci system requires a bayonet kind of adapter for the wire. And then these are also 10, 12 AWG. And for wire, I also like to use the marine grade wire. So this is marine grade 10 AWG, and I'll be trimming that down obviously with a trimmer, or Kyra trimmer, and crimping them, and then I also like to solder them. So we have a soldering gun, some solder, and we have a little wrench here for tightening the whole thing down. Now when you do have power, you have to keep it charged. So you need a trickle charger, and I like these Deltran battery tenders. They're automatic. They do a great job of 3-stage charging. Again, they're a kind of a premium device. You can find less expensive trickle chargers at Walmart. I just have some history with these and keep a bunch on hand. So this one's a little more expensive, maybe 40 bucks, and the other one's maybe 20 bucks. So that's up to you to make that determination. So when you're charging, when you have power, you need to be charging. So this needs to be plugged into the wall, and the other end, excuse me a second, also needs connectors to attach to the battery itself right on these posts. So that's what happens there. One on each side. And another nice thing about this system is that it comes with an inline fuse. And what I didn't show you was that this Luci adapter set of plugs also has an inline fuse. So you can't really short your batteries out, start a fire, that kind of stuff. So here we go. Okay, so I've taken the Luci system plugs out of the wrapper, and see that it's really nicely done. The back of the box shows you where to attach the wires, which side is hot and which side is cold. And I bought a battery box that had a cover that was deep enough, hope you can see this, to contain the back side of this set of plugs without reaching down into the battery itself. What I want to do is mount this set of plugs into the battery box, either this way, probably about like this, so that it's flush with the top and there's no external wire showing. And this should work pretty well. We'll give it a shot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my soldering iron to mark the outer edge and inner edge of this cutout that I need to make. And the cutout doesn't need to be full width, obviously, because you got these holes. So the cutout needs to be aligned with this inner dimension. So I'm going to make it, align it with this back edge pretty much. Actually, I'm going to use this line here on the box cover as the center, and I'm going to put a mark here should be wide enough. And in terms of width, I think I can go from about there to about there. Now, I'll take this out to the garage and use a square to make sure that that all lines up correctly. And then I'll use a Dremel to cut that square out, and that's where this will sit. I'm using this side as the front. This side will go over the wires here. So, off to the garage. Okay, I'm back from the garage, and as you can see, I cut a hole in the top of the cover, and I also drill holes, mounting holes for the screws, and it looks pretty good. Now, what I didn't know until I just looked is that the inside of the instructions that came with the panel has templates, cutout templates. So I could have used those to cut the hole out, but instead I kind of winged it and adjusted it to fit. Now, this thing came with screws for mounting apparently into wood or fiberglass. Since this stuff is so thin, I had some stainless steel screws in the garage that I'm going to use to mount this with. And also I'm going to use nylocks to make sure it never comes undone unnecessarily. And then the mounting part is pretty much finished. Okay, so now we have it all mounted up. Looks really good. On-off switch and 2 ports right in the top of the battery box. Inside, the wires are nice and free, and we just need to plug in the battery there and to there. It'll be done. Okay, the next step is to build the wire. So we need to put the ends on this piece of wire. And you notice I put a lot of space here because this has to span between the 2 terminals. And this has to just go to the 2 connection points. So we're going to use these terminal connectors on this wire, and we're going to use these bayonet connectors on that end. So the first thing we do is, of course, this is 10 gauge, and we have a 10 gauge trimmer here, and trim about a millimeter or a centimeter of wire from the end. It's good clean wire, and no issues. And then I can just clamp this down, crimp it with this crimping tool, and 16 to 10. And that one's on. And again, we use the 10 gauge. And we have to use enough wire so that we can take the top off and set it aside with it still staying connected. So that's why we have all this extra wire. Okay, so we have the ends done now, and the bayonet ends go onto the plug itself.
On this one, the red or hot lead goes over there. The cold lead. That was a struggle. So that's connected. Okay, so I've taken those wires and the charger wire, this connection here is for the charger, and I've put the hot wires to the hot terminal, plus side, and the cold side, wired it up, and if we turn this on, we have power. Awesome. That's pretty much it, except for laying this wire in here. Top down, and she's ready to go. All set.
A masterpiece, if I do say so myself.
So there you have it. It should keep your cell phones charged up for at least a couple of weeks, and hopefully you'll have power back by the end of that. And it's all compact, very portable, all self-contained. The battery charger itself, at least the Deltran, has this connector so that when you lose power, you can disconnect this, carry this whole battery system to wherever you need it. And I hope you've enjoyed this DIY. Again, thanks. Bye.